Hey guys, in the last video that I did for my new game, I had just got as far as doing some basic movement for this cannon. But you'll now see I have a little green ball at the end, my orb, and just having that orb appearing on the end of the cannon was something that gave me quite a headache. This for me is like the most tricky part because as the cannon moves around, obviously that orb it's not attached to the cannon, it's a completely separate class because it needs to be able to fire, and so that's where I have to do a little bit of that math, which I hate, trying to get it to kind of track. So to be fair, it's only a few lines of code really, but getting those few lines of code right was something that took me ages. So let me show you it in action. So what I've done is it's easy just to show you. So in order to fire it, you have to press the space bar, but it kind of does it's got like a little charge mechanic. So if I just sort of like do it very quickly, it doesn't go very fast. And if I charge it up more, that's like the full speed. I did have a bug whereby you could start charging it while the cannon was moving, and then the ball and the progress bar was staying there while you moved the cannon. But I've managed to fix that now. I think this is all working. Yeah, I quite like that. So I can tweak the values for it, so it's all controlled with just a few little values really. So there's 11 ticks. To do the actual progress bar, it was literally two little graphics. One of them was just the empty bar, and then there's the graphic for the tick, and I just draw those, and I've just done those as literally an array of offsets, so the vectors just show, like, you know, where to draw the various ticks. It's probably something that I could abstract out into its own class for the whole way in which the progress bar was done, but I don't know if I'd need that again in another game, and if I did, it'd probably be done in a different way, so I'm not going to do that now, so it'd probably be a waste of time. But basically you've got kind of a gravity value, and you've got a base speed. That actually, the base speed could be a constant as well, and then it's just taking the trajectory. No, it's not in there, it's in here, in the in-flight. So when it's in the in-flight state, this is where the speed then is calculated. So up here, the ready position, the trajectory, this is where it's calculating where the ball is going to be. So the way it does that, if I just bring it back up again, kind of need, actually, let me show you the graphic. So this is the sprite for my cannon, and the difficulty that I had was that the origin point for the cannon is kind of like in the center of this piece here. It's about there, but the origin for the ball is in kind of the center of the mouthpiece, which is over here. So this isn't a flat horizontal line, so I had to kind of project that, and you can sort of see that working in the game. Because if I bring that down to its base position, you'll see that it doesn't fire. If I do it on quite a fast speed, oh no, it's slower. Oh, it's hard to see actually. Now that I've got the firing mechanics, it's kind of hard to see. But yeah, it's when before I put the gravity and everything in there, you could see that it would float off at a slight angle. But yeah, so trying to get that part in there, that was the trickiest part. Yeah, so this is a program called Krita, which I've only just picked this up a few days ago. Actually, I'd never really done any pixel art before, so this is what allowed me to kind of mess around with the graphics. So for example, if I show you can I just drag this in? See, this originally, the base part here, sort of, you know, this bit, that was attached to the cannon. So when I tried to rotate it, it didn't look good at all. So instead, I've just edited that so that that base part, oh, a bit big, is actually attached to here instead. And so that's what makes it look like, you know, it means that the cannon can move around, but the base stays in place. So I just had to do a little bit of editing there. But I'm quite pleased with the little charge mechanic, and it's the actual charge bar is just sort of relative to wherever the ball is. So once I had the offset for the orb calculated, it was just trivial to do it for the charge bar. So now that I've got that in place, the next part is to actually start putting in some targets to aim at. So I'll probably add on to this video before I post it onto YouTube. In the last one, I just kind of ended it abruptly, so I wasn't sure where I was going to stop. So hopefully I won't do that this time. I've added a couple of little things which I don't really need to do, but it's just I wanted something to just kind of, I wanted to start bringing some things to bring the game alive. So I've just got like a little pulsating thing in there, and and then when it fires, it will just rotate slightly. So I don't know, just it's very trivial to do. It's only just a few lines of code. The scale is literally just it just pulsates, and that's it. And then the rotation was literally just one line. It just rotates it a little bit. And yeah, so just a silly little thing, but I need to start adding in little touches just to make the games just slightly better than pure crap. So what I've done next is I've added a bunch more buildings, and obviously I can put in another one there. But what I'm really pleased about with this is the way in which I've done it. I've actually used JSON data, and I've never actually worked with that kind of before, but it was so easy to do. So I've just defined like a JSON file, and so for each one it's just got a name which is going to equate to the actual texture, so it knows what to load in, and then a position to the windows. Obviously I still need to do the work to figure out where these are, so this is just kind of like not exactly dummy data. The windows is dummy data, but I'm not using that yet. And then all I'm doing is it's 2 lines of code to just read in that data and serialize it directly into classes. So all I had to do was create these data classes to hold the actual information. And so the list of windows is currently, it's just an X and a Y. I will convert that probably over to a vector if I need to when I come around to doing that part. But when I hang on, my cat's tail out my face. Where am I? So yeah, so then what I do here is once I've read in the data, I just instantiate a copy of the an instance, sorry, of the building object. Now this right edge, what it does is it calculates where to put the new building based on where the last one was. So what this means is I can just change things around. So if I go into my textures, house 3, I don't really like that one because it's got these big windows at the bottom. And so what I want really for this particular game is I like all of these windows. I want all of these ones which are the same size. So I don't really want this building because I'm not going to have people in here. So let's swap out that number 3 and let's put like this massive one in, this house 8. So if I come back into here, I can literally just swap that out for house 8, and then everything should just work. Boom, look at that. Yeah, so I'm really pleased with that. So what this is going to allow me to do is I could have like different levels. I guess I could put in if I had different backgrounds, I could just add a background into this file, so it'd have one background, and then it could define what houses it is going to do, and then I could just change things out, and then I could have just a bunch of different levels just defined easily in this file. So I'm really pleased with how easy that was to do. And so my next thing now, actually no, I'm going to save it for the next bit. I was going to say the next thing now is going to be to display kind of something appearing in those windows. So I just load it back up again. So how I want the game to play is basically you've got these windows, and at these little windows you're going to have like some kind of face or something appearing, and the idea is then that you're then firing the orb at the right thing. My cat can can see, I don't know if you can see her. No, you can't. She's watching it. She's probably going to start pouring the screen at the moment in a minute. Anyway, yeah, so that's going to be the basic aim. And then what I also want to do is have different colored orbs so that you have to kind of match what color orb you have for the right kind of face that's going to be in there. So I'm really pleased with how the buildings have turned out. And what I also did is I have scaled up the images just like I did with the other sprites, just to make it easier to display them. So I could, you know, edit the graphics and make them more detailed, but I kind of just like this sort of simple blocky look. I think it looks fine. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with how it's going right now. So in the next update, I will be doing kind of like the faces, and I'm going to explain how that's going to work once I figure out how it's going to work.